Whoa. Arrow season 5 premiere episode. It was off the hook. Probably one of the best premiere episodes since season 1. Now, season 1 of Arrow was fierce. It was raw. It was really good. Based off the strength of season 1, I think this whole series was able to last as long as it did. Other seasons had their moments. Season 2 was really good as well. But 3 and 4 really started to lag. 4 started to pick up some of the slack that they had in 3. 3 was just a different tone. But anyway, we want to concentrate on this tonight's the premiere episode for season 5. And it was fantastic. The crew, the cast, the writers, the director of that episode, whoever directed it, you did a fabulous job. And I think a lot of people need to follow your lead. Obviously, episodes have to be different because they're going to have a different feel. They're going to take place at a different time and different things happen. But this episode was, even down to the action, it seemed very much like what you would see in a comic book. When Oliver hit people or his arrow hit somebody, they would go flying or they would go flipping in the air. And that's what you want from a comic book show. Now, they do ground a lot of it in realism, but not every aspect has to be if it's comic book material. It's supposed to be different than what we experience here in reality, even if the person doesn't have any superpowers. But Oliver was doing things that, it was just, it reminded me of whenever in season 1, China White would show up and they would just burst out into a fight and her whole clan and everything. It was fantastic. The whole episode was very fast paced. And when it slowed down, it had moments of slowing down, and that was for a reason. But it really picked back up. So every time it seemed like, oh, the episode's going to start going a little slower, a little smoother. Boom, they put you in the middle of some action or something happens that is just like, okay, this is what I want. And it wasn't just always action. But I would have to say, overall, the camera angles they used, the fight, the action, it was handled very well. And Oliver is battling something that he's been battling since season 1. And that's coming to terms with what he should do. Should he kill or should he not kill? Is it necessary? Now, in the end of season 4, he had to kill Damien Dark. And I guess that pushed him over the edge. Also with the death of Laurel Lance, who was, his love interest in season 1. And before the show even started, that's supposedly who he was with. Her dying really pushed him over the edge. His best friend dying in season 1, end of season 1, is why he made a vow never to kill again. Now, I kind of like that, but the fact that he was killing, it shows a different side of him, and he's trying to justify it. But it gives the show a new edge now, and it makes him look more like a vigilante again instead of just a hero. But he's a hero who's killing, and he's proved himself as a hero in the last few seasons. But this time he's just over the edge. He's more on the anti-hero side, and he has no time for nonsense. He also doesn't have his team members with him this time, so it's him by itself. So he has to do stuff. So Thea, she helped him out a little bit in this episode. After Detective Lance talked to her, gave her some insight to what Oliver might be doing and where he might be. But the thing is, Thea wants to get out of what she's doing, just like Diggle. They both decided to retire from the superhero business, but Thea decides to go in and help once again. But she was afraid to, and I kind of like that dynamic. You never want to see Speedy gone completely, but she came back. It was good the way that it worked. Oliver really didn't even need her, but she helped out a lot. Detective Lance, he's battling alcohol right now, and he's still a mess. His daughter death, and you could see like the relationship he had with Felicity's mom didn't work out either, and he's just a mess. He's a wreck, but I like him. I like the guy who plays Detective Lance. He's good. I think he's a good actor. One thing I didn't like about this episode, there's 2 things I didn't like. Felicity's boyfriend. Who is that? Where'd he come from? It doesn't seem right. She knows she wants Oliver. She's trying to get away from Oliver. It doesn't work. Get back with Oliver. That's what we all want. That's what the fans want. But I get it. You're teasing us. You're throwing somebody else in there right now, and they'll get back together later. I think that's what we're all hoping for. But like I said, the one thing I really didn't like about this episode was that statue of Laurel Lance. Now, Oliver, as mayor of Star City now, no more Starling City, Star City, he, has a statue they revealed to honor the Black Canary, Laurel Lance. And it looks nothing like her. It was terrible. I'm like, goodness gracious. If I was her father, I would have been like, you're going to have to do something about that statue. That looks nothing like my daughter at all. I'm sorry, that statue was ugly. I hope somebody destroys that later on or something. I don't know. If Laura comes back, good, they can get rid of the statue because that's just hideous. Diggle showed up at the end of the episode, and it was just like he calls him up, "Hey, buddy, I need your advice. Should I start a new team?" And Dick was like, "Yeah, I think you should." He needs help. He knows that. But you could feel the feelings when he called him, and he's like, "Hey, buddy." He was hoping he would say no, or he would come back. He believes he'll come back. He believes Spears is going to come back full time also. But Oliver's, I like the fact that Felicity's still helping him out, even though they're not together. She didn't leave him. She didn't just say, "Okay, I'm retiring too." They also have who should become Curtis, who's going to become Mr. Terrific this season, helping out as well. He's not a full-fledged member of Team Arrow yet, but he's saying he's just helping Felicity out. But it's happening. Wild Doug, they're introducing Wild Doug. And if you know the actor that plays Wild Doug, I like him. I like him a lot. He's been in numerous movies. I like him a lot. But this season, he's obviously Oliver's seen him before, and he's just a vigilante who's trying to help. He doesn't need his help. We've seen shades of this in the Dark Knight movie when there was a bunch of people, copycats of Batman, and they're using guns, and he told him, "I got this. I don't need your help." But they're like, "We're trying to help. We're doing the same thing you're doing. What makes us so different?" And he wants to throw out what makes them different. Look what I got, and look what you're doing. You're wearing hockey pads. It's almost the same thing. But Wild Doug in the comics, he's a mercenary. He uses guns. He wears a hockey mask. He looks very much like how he looks on the show. Also, the show was very fast-paced. Like I said, it slowed down for certain parts when it needed to. Anarchy, who was a villain in season 4, he started off. Oliver started off this episode fighting him. And I think that's good. It's a good example of how they should use some villains in these superhero shows and also movies. Like, you have certain villains there, a top tier, and ones who you don't consider really too much of a threat. They're just more of an annoyance. And that's good. Bring them back. You can have them at the beginning of an episode. Keep bringing them back. They could be somebody who you can stop. They can team up with other villains, which makes it more challenging for the superheroes. But I don't like to see every villain just done away with after one season or after a few episodes, killed off. I like to see them come back. In the comics, they very much spoil their plans, and those villains are able to come back again, and you know how much of a threat they can be, and they can reach new heights and be even a new type of threat to these superheroes. So I think that's good that they brought Anarchy back, and he was just more of a nuisance. And you can use him for some good action sequences. Any villain, you can use him for some good action sequences and then continue the story in another direction. I think it also works better in television series than it does in movies, because movies you get 2 hours. Television series you get 13 hours or more of story time. So you can bring back villains and have them reappear more often. But overall, like I said, I think this episode was great. You can tell the writers, you can tell Stephen Amell and everybody else. He just they really focused on the problems they had and what the fans were complaining about, and critics also. And they're really going back, and you can tell they just put a lot of work into this season. And I hope the rest of the season can stay just as focused as this one, with giving us what we need and what we want. Now, obviously, every episode can't be like this first one. They have to change the pace up. They have to give us something new, something old, and something borrowed from other stories or other superheroes or whatever. I don't care. Other series, movies, and everything. But whatever works, works. And a lot of this episode worked. The ending, I think a lot of people didn't like it. We saw another Dark Archer who looks like a Green Arrow, and he took down somebody, and he's like, "Green Arrow? No, I'm not the Green Arrow." I don't know. But the whole episode overall for me worked. I enjoyed it a lot. I think they worked on it very well, and they got it going really good. But yeah, that's my review. If you guys watched it, if you didn't, sorry, spoilers. Should have said that in the beginning. But if you guys watch it, let me know what you guys think. Leave some comments, share the video, subscribe, and I will get back to you with more videos next time.